this video, I'm going to teach you guys at home how to tacker. There's probably a few of you out there going, Tacker, what's a tacker? Well, this is basically a top turn in windsurfing where you basically throw the tail out and it carries on going a full 360. Now, at the high end of the sport, this move is one of the most impressive and probably difficult maneuvers to pull off in some gnarly waves. On port tack, I can tacker. It was actually one of the moves that got me in my first ever PWA wave event to 5th place. Yes, I was 5th in Pozo a long time ago, I think 2005, 2004. Why? How did I get there? Well, basically, I was one of the first guys to be pulling off the white water tacker. I think I've got the experience to tell you guys how to do it. Now, how do I put this? I kind of cheated a little bit. Yes, I did. Why? Well, I had a 78 freestyle waveboard, so quite a flat rocker, and I had a tiny freestyle fin. They didn't know back then that it made things easier. And that's the secret I'm gonna give you guys. So when we're learning this move, we are gonna de-fin our waveboards. If you've got a single fin, we're gonna make it shorter. If you've got a multi-fin, we're gonna take some out. Well, that's the experiment I'm gonna try now because we have got starboard tack here in Portugal. As you know, this isn't my favorite tack. I am having to relearn lots of moves, and one of them is the tacker. How am I getting on so far? As you can see, I'm not quite getting it. I'm not putting the pressure enough on my front foot. So what I'm gonna do straight away is to take a few fins out of my board and see if it helps. Okay, so I've got a board with 5 boxes. So I have a lot of options at the moment. Quad fin setup, 9 5s in the front, 14s in the back. So, I mean, the most skiddiest, craziest configuration would be one of these in the middle. That's it. Take everything else out. Would it be saleable? I don't know. So my first option to see if I can loosen it up is to take the front fins out. That's it. The next option, once the front fins are out, would be to maybe leave the front fins in and just put one of these fins in the middle. Or we take both of those out and just have one center fin, which would only be a 14. And like I said, the most extreme would be to have one of these in. Or maybe both of these in the back. I'm going to experiment with a few different setups and find out if it helps. Let's see.
She said, you gotta let it go now. She said, you gotta let it go now. You'll be okay.
Experiment 1, it's bloody grippy. I've only got 2 14s in the back, took the fronts out. I've got loads of grip. It's actually performing too well. So what I'm gonna do is, I want this experiment to be a bit extreme. I'm gonna take a fin out. I'm gonna take both out and put one back in the middle. I think that's gonna loosen it up. Or maybe, now let's go extreme. I'm gonna put the 2 9 5s in the back. That's gotta loosen it up.
She said, you gotta let it go now. She said, you gotta let it go now. You'll be okay.
Okay, so that I think was harder to sail in a straight line than to even try a Tacker. I did actually have one that spun all the way around, because once you get it and you've got the power in the right place, but it's so hard to even get there that I think that actually sailing it is harder than doing the Tacker. So I got another idea. I've got one of the 14s. I'm going to put a 14 on my bottom turn side, so I've got a bit more grip to bottom turn, and I'm going to leave a 9.5, a small front fin, in the other side. Will it work? I have no clue. But what I also realised out there is I need power to do a Tacker. If you're underpowered and you come off the top and you can't throw the sail, you're not going to go around. You can't transfer the weight to your front foot and then de-weight the fin anyway. Plus you haven't got enough speed. So you definitely need a bit of wind for this trick. And the bigger the wave, the bigger the white water, the harder it is. On the real small inside stuff with power, that's the trick. With this new fin setup, we've got it. We've got it. It's coming. You just watch.
And I just can't seem to understand it, the way you left me empty-handed. I just can't seem to understand it now. Understand it now.
I think what I've realised is, I think it's more to do with having the right wind in my sail and the right wave set up than the fins. The board is going, but I'm just wasting loads of waves looking for these tiny little white waters on the inside. And when I do get it, it feels like it wants to go, but I think maybe I just need to brush up on my technique. I think the board will go. Out of the fin setups I've used so far, the two tiny fins, don't bother, don't bother, too much hard work. This actual setup at the moment isn't bad, but I still, the ones I've tried, I think the twin fins, two 14s at the back, I could sail normally, so I could still hit a good wave when I wanted to with confidence, but it also felt like it would go. So, again, this is to be concluded. Gonna go and get a drink, have a little reset, come back this afternoon. I'm going to smash out the starboard tack. Okay, we're back. It's not quite the afternoon, it's actually the next day, because yesterday, well, it just didn't work out in the afternoon. Conditions got worse. But we are back for day 2, and guess what? Oh yeah, I'm claiming that Taka. Well, to be honest, after trying that many and finally getting one, it feels pretty good. But for you guys at home, what were the keys? What have I learnt? Well, I tell you what I have learnt. Fins do matter. It definitely made a difference having the twin fin. I tried a few early with a quad fin. It was definitely sticking more. So the twin fins definitely helped. But, I will say but, it wasn't the biggest factor. The biggest factor was the setup and the power I had in the sail. So on the one I did, I definitely had more power, and I was able to, as I bottom turned, open the clue. And by opening the clue and getting more vert on the little tiny wave, but vert, as I went, I could create the whip on the board, and that in itself is what made it happen. Now the big tip for a tacker is not just kicking your foot. If you kick your foot, you slide under the sail and you basically end up backwards like this. That's not what you want to do. The trick is to get your weight on top of the board and on your front foot. So, main things are the setup. Have a bit of power in your sail. You pick the tiniest bit of white water, literally. Too big, it'll bounce the board off, you can't do the turn. So a little tiny bit of white water, get as vertical or back up into the wind as possible with the sail open. As you're doing this, you're basically, I tell you, this bit is whipping the sail to the front of the board and putting all the weight through your front leg. And the back leg, as you put it all to the front, whips the board through, and then the rest should happen. It should happen. It's about weight transfer, keeping your body on top and the weight going through the front. And also the big one is that sail getting thrown forward. That is the extra power you need to put through the mast foot, which pushes the nose down, which then lets the board pivot round. If you've got too much weight in the back, no matter how hard you kick that board, it won't go. So it's all about the balance to let it to go, and the last bit will happen. Now, that is not an in-depth tutorial, but I am gonna put a video out which is gonna show you a little secret freestyle move. Not really a secret, but it could unlock these type of tackers, because not everyone gets conditions like this to practice in. You know, this might be little and stuff, but not everyone has that. They have flat water. But I can teach you a freestyle move that will literally open this up. So stay tuned to the channel, we're bringing it out soon, and all the things you learn in that move will help you master the tacker. If you like that video, subscribe to the channel because there is more videos coming. Give us a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments below what moves you want me to cover. Oh, and don't forget, subscribe to the Send It Academy. That's our coaching we do here. We do a lot of it in Cape Town, but we're gonna start expanding over the next years, I will say, and we're gonna be doing more clinics in different locations. If you're on that list, you'll be notified first when spaces become available.